Hello everyone, and welcome to the second channel. I apologize if my mic quality is not the best. I have my air conditioner on, and if I turn it off, I will probably die. I was itching to make a video on Tomodachi life living the dream, because while I do love the game, there's a lot of issues with it that I feel like needs to be addressed. Because while I do want to say the game is great and I absolutely love it, I can't deny that there are issues that are preventing me from enjoying the game to its fullest, and that really sucks. Anyways, the way I was initially gonna structure this video was I was going to explain the positives, then the negatives. But I feel like in order to really get the full picture, I have to explain a feature, the good things about it, and then what's bad about it. Because ultimately, my criticisms are, the game is great, but you can't do enough with it, if that makes any sort of sense. Okay, the first issue I have with the game is actually probably one of the first things you're gonna end up doing, and that is trying to create a pretty cool looking me. Now, when you first open the customization menu and you start messing around with stuff and seeing what certain things do, you're probably going to be pretty impressed with the amount you can do. Compared to the regular me creator, you're probably really impressed. But then you dive a little bit deeper and you start to see the cracks forming. Your Miis can't have heterochromia, they can't have vitiligo, they can't be in a wheelchair or have a prosthetic limb, you can't change their body type. And while there is ways to define their personalities, choose who they can date, and even say who they're related to, there's no way to define what a me might like, whether that's another me or a certain object or a certain aesthetic. And it ends up restricting you in ways you don't really expect. Because I have a little Sam on my island, and as much as I really want him to like poutine, he just doesn't, because I don't have the option to make that his favorite food. And that really bothers me, because what do I do at that point? It's supposed to be something he likes, but he doesn't like it because the game doesn't give me the option to make him like it. Even if you're not like a super creative person, at the end of the day, the further you go into the game, you're just gonna start getting really frustrated with all of the limitations in the game, especially since the game really pushes you to try and be creative. But then you'll run into things like being able to paint on the face, having access to this giant color wheel that you can use, only to realize that you don't have the option to use the color wheel when actually customizing the me. It's stuff like that. You're having a blast, and then you realize, wait, I can't do that? Why can't I do that? And then it kind of sours the experience a little bit. Because why can't I do that? I was able to do it here, why can't I do it there? Then there's also the paint feature, which at first seems pretty cool, but then, the limitations. Like the fact that you can't use layers, or you can't use a mirror tool to just have the drawing be mirrored as you're drawing it, is really annoying. There are ways around this, but again, still really annoying. And it just makes using the feature really frustrating and time-consuming, and at the end of the day, you might just feel like you're discouraged from using the feature at all because it's just really annoying to use. The paint feature also lacks the ability to like save color palettes, which you won't realize is an issue at first until you start doing more stuff, and then you're like, okay, that's not good. There's also the feature of quirks in the game, which you can give to your Miis once they level up. At first, again, it seems like a really cool thing. You can give your Miis funny little traits that make them more unique. But again, as you go further, you start to see the cracks form. You start to notice that certain tabs for quirks are getting smaller or more messy, and while some tabs have a lot of stuff going on, there's certain ones that don't really have a lot of quirks to warrant their own tab. At the end, there's an entire tab dedicated to just giving Miis multiple quirks that do different things. You would think this tab would have by far the most quirks, but it doesn't even have half the amount that the first two have. It's honestly mind-boggling that the game even released like this, because what happened here exactly? And it's so frustrating to talk about because the game is fun. For the average player, they might not care about any of this. But for someone like me or others who want to explore more of the game, you test it just a little bit and it shatters into a million pieces. That's my big criticism with the game and where I stand with it. The game can be fun, and for a lot of people, it will be, but it feels underbaked. It crumbles under the slightest bit of stress testing, and it just really sucks. Personally, it really does hurt my experience with the game. I want to do more, but I just feel like I can't. So, the conclusion to this is that the game needs some kind of content or quality of life update. Like, it desperately needs it, because right now, the game is currently trapped at a 7 out of 10, at least for me. You don't have to agree with me in the slightest. I mean, everything I said here could be a complete non-issue to you. But if you are someone who wants to explore more of the game, I kinda don't recommend it. Whether it's weird quality of life stuff that's entirely missing or just weird restrictions in certain areas, you will be frustrated, and it will probably harm your experience of the game. So, personally speaking, if you're like me and you want to explore more, then I suggest waiting for some kind of quality of life update or just a content update in general, because like I mentioned several times, you're just going to end up getting really frustrated. So, to actually properly conclude the video, Tomodachi Life Living the Dream gets a 7 out of 10. It's a good, fun game that suffers immensely under limitations and, in general, just being underbaked. This may change in the future depending on if they actually choose to update the game, which I am very much hoping they do. Alright everyone, take care, I'll see you.